Ani Wiikwemkoong, Kerry Assiniwe Dishnakas. Hello, Wiikwemkoong. My name is Kerry Assiniwe, and I am your host for this the inaugural launch of our community podcast slash vodcast episode for our community of Wiikwemkoong. I want to say welcome to everybody who is watching from wherever you are watching, whether you're at home or at work. It's really nice to have you part of our inaugural launch of the podcast. And this is a new initiative for Wiikwemkoong. It's actually something that's been happening and in the planning for a couple of years now within various departments of administration to include our information system technology department. And it's because of all of the advancements they've made in equipment, including this room. We're actually in a studio. We are able to launch this initiative officially. And of course, to launch it with me, it's awesome. We have our newly elected Ogimaa Ominika. I'd like to welcome him to launch this for our community. Welcome.
Wow, Chmigwech Kerry. Yeah, I'm very humbled and honored to be sitting here to start off this launch of this podcast. I want to say Chmigwech to everybody who is watching, and say Chmigwech to our membership who came out and elected our newly council for this term. One of the things that we were really looking towards, and this is a perfect time for us to launch this, is communication to our membership on and off reserve, which is going to allow us to continue this, keep awareness what's happening within our First Nation community. I know those were some of the comments we had years prior, and so grateful with our administration team and staff to allow us to get to this point in this day of age of technology. We're allowing us to communicate what is happening within our territory. So I'm very grateful to be sitting here for this launch. Uh, and I'm excited on how this is going to continue throughout this term to allow all of our membership to be a part of and being aware of what's happening within our First Nation community. So with that, I just want to say Chimigwech, and I'm looking forward to this term. Very excited, and we're going to continue moving forward to allow our successes moving forward with our administration team and staff and our membership moving forward. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited.
Wonderful. So you had mentioned it's really important, the communications component of it. These last, I'd say, 2 years have been very busy for a lot of the staff here, working through the band office, especially with the Robinson Huron Treaty engagement of our band members. Now, band members here in the community, but as well outside of the community. So there's many of our band members who are, pursuing their lives, living their lives outside of Wiikwemkoong, whether it's for school or for profession, or they've done it most of their life, living off reserve. And being a part of the team that did a lot of the engagement out of community, we did hear that from our off reserve band members that they want to be engaged more opportunities to voice, their issues, their concerns, their challenges, and even their opportunities as band members live in off reserve. And I know that is something that you hold in high regard, is the voices of our off reserve.
Yes. Yes. So thank you for that, Kerry. Um, we have a large membership, large off reserve membership. And during my campaign, I said that we were going to have all membership a part of our discussions and be aware of what's happening. And through this technology, what we are doing, it's going to allow our off reserve members to tune in, give us feedback through our discussions we're having here in the community. And, in prior years, it was a little bit difficult without this technology where we weren't really seeing or understanding the impacts we're having with our off reserve memberships. And, with our large population, a large amount of them living off reserve, this is going to allow them to, again, be a part of these discussions on a regular basis, be a part of having that community drive to allow us to speak for them and their issues and their concerns coming forward. And through this technology and through these podcasts, I'm just so happy and amazed on where we are today to make everybody in our community feel a part of Wiikwemkoong Unceded territory. So this is great. I don't mind if I'm smiling all the time because I am so happy and I'm so grateful for Carrie, our communications team, our IT departments, our administration for getting to this point to allow our membership to feel as one as we move forward together. This is
Mhm.
this is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And this, like we said, this is just the launch. This is the first episode. We will have regular episodes on a regular basis, and that's going to be covering a wide variety of issues and events or initiatives that are relevant to our community, whether you're in community or out of community. We have an Anishinaabe programming that's also going to be coming. So we're going to have a host and speak in the language with people in our community that do speak the language. So we have episodes lined up on that as well. Maybe events that are maybe upcoming in the community or projects or initiatives that are a priority. Maybe if we want to look a little bit deeper into what is going on in our community to provide more information, awareness, explanation. We even plan on having live shows where we could actually invite phone calls in. So that's
Wow.
definitely been on the works
Mhm.
within the administration here. So we can have you say one day come in and take some calls from band members. So that it's going to be so exciting. I'm really looking forward to it on the various initiatives that are important to the lives of all of our Wiikwemkoong band members. So again, miigwech for being here. So let's get into some of those
Okay.
when we're looking at issues and priorities
Mhm.
as newly elected Ogimaa. What are some of those priorities that you would like to see in the community or progress on in the community?
Um, okay, great. So, as being on council for 10 years prior to this position I currently hold for our beautiful community of Wiikwemkoong Unceded territory, throughout those years, number of issues that were coming up, a number of challenges that we were addressing, and seeing some of the successes that came out of all of those through our great work with our our leadership and our administration. Moving forward, some of the areas that were difficult to get accomplished, and I had a vision and seeing what we need to get done moving forward. So one of those biggest priorities that I see that I want to look at working towards is our custom election. During the campaign and also listening to our membership years prior is, following the INAC election process, it's only a 2-year term. And unfortunately, through that 2-year term, it's kind of challenging to complete some of our achieve some of our goals. And at times, our leadership is kind of changing. We get some new council members in, or some new GIMOs coming in, and within that 2 year, it's a learning process also. So somebody who may not be involved in politics too often, that 2-year turnaround time is not enough time for them to be a part of our leadership, sitting around the table making those important decisions. So that is one of my biggest priorities that we are going to focus on this term. We already had discussions with our governance unit and our administration and how we could start addressing and looking at how we are going to implement this and have our, again, through our podcast, community involvement, letting our community membership know off reserve who what we are doing and how we are going to hopefully successfully get through and implement our own custom election. So that's one of my major big priorities right now, along with a number of others. I have a big list here, and so another one is our roads. I know we've been speaking about that within our community on how to support our membership in our satellite communities. We have a large land base here in our First Nation community, a lot of satellite communities.
Mhm.
So looking at how we are going to support our First Nation members and with the road maintenance, that's another big issue. I know we did support this last term, and it is coming. We are going to start reconstructing our roads. So I will either be on this another podcast segment, or we will use other forms of communication to address this with our membership on where we are with that. Another big area, our growing population in our community, is our education system. I know years ago we were looking at a new super school, and throughout the years it's been a little bit on hold, I could say, in a sense. But now we'll try to look at bringing that back on how we're going to support our youth or in our education system to look at how we could get more additional source funding to ensure that we are going to construct a nice state of the art super school for our First Nation members. And with that, we would allow our educators to be, you know, appreciating coming to work and enjoying in a new facility. Our schools right now are currently reaching in at their age. So looking at this new super school would really empower our youth, loving coming to this one school and sitting together. Another area is our long-term care facility. We know we have one of the oldest facilities in Ontario, and, looking at our elderly and our membership who are currently residing in there, we want to ensure that we construct the state of the art home in which there's been a lot of work thus far. I have went to meetings addressing that. I could speak on that a little bit later. But again, ensuring that we take care of our elders and our membership who are employed within that department to taking care of our elderly, and they're going to be feel comfortable in our First Nation community. We don't want no one to go anywhere, so that is another major big priority. Looking at a new recreation center, all of our youth in the community having somewhere for them to go, having somewhere to take part in other extracurricular activities, such as a new recreation facility. Within that, we're looking at having indoor walking park in there, or facilities such as exercises for them, weightlifting, whatever it may be. So we're looking at that. I've been in talks with other individuals so far and how that's been accomplished with other First Nations. So that is in the works. I could let you know, our membership who are watching, that we're going to be working on that initiative for our community. Our Anishinaabe, that is a big area. Myself, I'm still learning. I learn every day. I'm not totally fluent. I understand our Anishinaabe, and growing up through our within our community, my mother is a language speaker, and I kind of spoke with her, and I said, "Okay, moving forward, mom." And throughout my term on council, I was fortunate to start learning more and understanding more. But my mother now, I said, all I want you to do is speak Anishinaabe at home and with
Mhm.
my children, and hoping that starts to follow through within our community's membership when our children leave our education system. But when they go home, the parents speak with them at home also. So, prioritizing and focusing on that is going to be a big area of what I would like to focus on, and allowing our elders to come and speak with us at the leadership table to let them know, and teach us around that table moving forward and how we're going to support that. Another area that we were really looking at is our cultural revitalization. Looking at a cultural center, our history. Our history is very important in our community. We are very rich with a lot of knowledge keepers. We have a lot of artifacts. We have all of these areas to ensure that they are taken care of, and we could continue this history and our culture of what our community is all about for our youth. Our youth would be able to go to a nice facility and see all the artifacts, and have our elders to speak on those, because we really got to take care of our elders, and really take in that knowledge that they hold. Uh, and, we don't want to wait for that knowledge to be passed on, or then it's gone. So we want to ensure we have a facility like a cultural center to talk about our history, and to teach that within our First Nation community with our youth. Myself, I'm still learning every day. I always continue to learn, and you know, um, we never ever stop learning. I want to stress that, and having the support within our First Nation community and our membership, and individuals who are off reserve would be able to listen to some of these podcasts and be able to listen and learn about our history and our culture. So that's another priority. Our tourism, our community is so rich, again, with our heritage, our culture. Tourism, allowing people to come in, supporting our tourism department on all the work they do, learning about our history. So that's another area. I know they do a lot of great work in our First Nation community, but supporting them throughout this journey. Economic development. We are a large First Nation community, and looking at how we could support our economic development, so we could become more self-sustainable within our First Nation community, not relying on government funds all the time. You know, our communities always ran and worked together, and they self-sustain themselves through farming or aquaculture, agriculture, all of those areas, small business opportunities, to look at how we could support one another moving forward. We have a lot of knowledgeable people in our First Nation community, and off reserve members would love to come home also, and having that opportunity, which leads into housing and infrastructure. So into our economic development, allowing our membership to come back home. They'll have a nice, beautiful home to live in, and looking at how we could support housing and infrastructure for to support our membership who would love to come back home. Our lands acquirements. I could share with you. I've been a part of some discussions with our former Gimal Pelche, who does a lot of our negotiations along with our lands department, working towards acquiring land, our land entitlement. There will be more updates coming on with that. We have meetings coming up this month, so I'm looking forward to addressing that and sharing that with the community moving forward on and off reserve. So these are some areas that we are going to be focusing on. I have a big list here. Looking at treatment facilities, supporting our membership who are having issues or challenges around mental health and addictions. Looking how we could work amongst each other, work together to provide more treatment facilities around harm reduction, transitional homes for those individuals who are ready to take that next step. So having those opportunities within our community, having those readily available would allow them to take that next step and asking for that help when they are ready. So there would be no long period time, no long time waiting to get into a treatment facility. We would have it readily available for them, which would be alongside working with our um, our uh, our healing center here and with our Rainbow Lodge. We have a number of facilities currently in operation, but having that whole approach and collaborating would make it a lot supporting our membership who are having those issues. Looking at our arts and culture, looking at a new strategy plan. Again, I spoke about it earlier, where we do have a lot of educated members on and off reserve and utilizing that knowledge that they acquired out there or even learning from our elders and having looking at how that strategic plan would look and implementing that within our community and supporting that initiative. That was an area that arts was just included within our pillar system, understanding that how important that is. And it wasn't in our pillar system years ago, but now it is, and it just shows where our priorities are moving forward and how important that is to ensure that our community is going to be knowledgeable and aware of what we are doing and how rich our community is. Looking at a youth center, a new youth center facility within our First Nation community. So those are big areas that we are looking at, and I know I got a long list, but I could reach and share with you. We are going to do this together with our administration, not doing it alone. Myself sitting as our Gima or our leadership, we are going to do it collectively and looking at the input from our administration, our membership, and moving forward together.
And I think that's a really key point, that you mentioned, Gima, is the input engagement from our, band members, again, whether they're in community or out of community, and that just brings to mind, we do have, committees and councils of council. There is, current, openings, so if there's any community member, band member that is interested, I do have the list here of we have the youth council, we have the elders council, we have finance and administration committee, the governance committee, health and social well-being committee, community services and infrastructure committee, education committee, language, arts and culture committee, as well as the lands and resources. So again, an opportunity is out there for all band members if you want to become a member. If you can just send your applications in, that can be emailed to our governance unit manager, and that's Crystal Flama at Wiikwemkoong.ca. And you're going to see that right there on your screen. Again, Crystal Flama at Wiikwemkoong.ca. And I think it's really important too in all this planning. You had mentioned, the importance to culture, to language. We know the connection between the youth and our elders. They play a key role. So it'd be really good to see the youth as well as the elders coming in and for that. So on that note, Gima, is there anything else that you want to share or mention to everybody who is listening or viewing us?
In closing, I just want to say I'm looking forward to this next term, working alongside our new elected leadership, our administration, on how we are going to collectively moving forward together and having that inclusiveness with our membership. This step right here is a very important step that we're moving forward on. This technology is so important, and I'm so grateful that we are taking this step to allow our membership viewing this segment and allow you use that opportunity to share your input, your insight on how we're going to collectively work together and keep all of you informed. That was one of my main priorities is accountability, transparency, and communicating with our membership moving forward. And that's what I stated within my campaign, and we're going to continue to do this moving forward. So I want to thank Kerry for allowing me to sit here on this very first podcast. I want to thank our IT department for setting everything up for us, and I'm looking forward to any feedback, any comments as we move forward together on this journey within this next term.
Mhm, and we
Miigwech.
thank you. Yeah, miigwech to you too, Ogimaa, and, of course, I know I speak on behalf of everybody. Best of luck, to you in your new term, as well as, your council, and we're looking forward to all the communications and the updates and the progress, that we're gonna see for our band membership, on and off reserve. So on that note, again, I wanna remind everybody to keep an eye on social media, and through other means of communication to see when our episodes for the vodcast will be aired. Again, we're going to have a wide variety of discussion items and different hosts. We're looking to reach out as well to our elder community as well as our youth community to see if we can have them serve as hosts as well. So it's all about, ensuring that the voices are captured from all segments of our community. So again, chimigwech for everybody, to everybody for tuning in for this inaugural launch. And again, chimigwech for Ogimaa Ominika and all the best. Nahau, miigwech.
Miigwech. Bumampi.